guys. Welcome to Publishing Power Play podcast. Here we're going to learn some secret tips on how to get the best brand exposure. And by the way, it's probably one of the most trickiest thing you're going to learn how to do while creating a business on social media. So today we're going to talk about cracking the code of brand exposure and what's your publishing power play. And literally, we're going to be unveiling to you how to navigate the landscape of your brand exposure. Real quickly, a little bit about me. I was awarded this year the IAOTP award for top publisher and publicist of the year. So I know a little teeny bit about it. In my last decade, this is what I have been completely transformed into, is this massive publisher and publicist. But I learned on my way all the secret little tips that we as publishers and publicists look for. So we'll be talking about creating books, creating content, creating copy, all the things that are going to give a beautiful heartbeat around your brand. For this one, I want to talk a little bit about 3 little tips, right? We're going to get started slow. We're going to go over little teeny things. So right now we're going to talk about crafting a distinctive brand voice. By the way, this is really hard to do because we all want to be who we see that is successful, right? We want to emulate them and decide that, hey, I want to be this person and this is what my desires are. But here's the thing, you're probably going to be bigger if you step into your zone of what we call your zone of genius, where your heartbeat lies, what lights you up every morning. But you have to dig really deep. What is your message? Who are you talking to? And how do you create that beautiful brand voice when you're talking to them? People purchase and buy into emotions and feelings, and it's all about what's in it for me. When you figure out that what's in it for them, and then you create it into an emotion and connect with them on that level, the voice is going to be amplified. Because you hear them, they feel heard, they feel seen. And the number one thing you do is start building trust and rapport with them. Building trust and rapport is key to helping them release funds, being able to trust you to work with you. Releasing funds, especially if you're a high ticket item, it's hard. You have to take the time and invest in getting to know them first. And the way you do that is creating a brand with purpose, with heart, with emotion that they feel safe in. So let's break that down into what that might look like for you. If you have a brand and your fitness coaches is so easy to do. So I'm going to skip fitness coach, but let's just say you work with trauma. You're a trauma coach and you help people move out of trauma and back into the real world or real life. What you need to do, this is an exercise I have everyone do, is get a piece of paper and literally write down 3 things that you're serving them with. Like, what are your clients coming to you? Are they coming to you because they're feeling disconnected? Are they coming to you because they just feel like they have a life of despair, nothing works for them, and they just can't get out of that dark cloud? Are they coming to you because that monkey brain talk in their brain, right, is always talking them down? They don't know how to talk kindly to themselves. And let's just take those 3 things if you're working with someone struggling through getting through trauma. Now I want you to take those 3 words and I want you to attach emotions and feelings. What does it feel like to be in a state of despair? What does it feel like to have that monkey brain always contradicting anything good you put forward? What does that feel like? When you tap into those feelings, that is the heartbeat of your brand essence. You take your core values, what you believe in, why you want to serve these people, why you want to see this beautiful outcome, your core values, and then you figure out what their pain points are. Attach it to the emotion that you're connecting with them on. And once you do that, that is your client's love language. That's how they connect to you. That's how they know they've been seen and heard. It's so important to make your brand a living, breathing, heart-beating, amplified voice and message. When you get this down, everything you talk about is around emotions and your client's needs. Here's the thing. If I talk about despair and I start out in my post or a podcast or a story about despair, you can't leave them in the valley. When you figure out that emotions to despair, maybe the emotion to despair is this hopelessness. I feel like I'm in a dark place. I can't get out of bed. I can't move forward. I just feel like everything is at an end. There's no use for me. What is the mirror side of that? So let's take your client who came to you because they're struggling with despair in publishing. And you're telling a story in an article, you're telling a story on your brand, in your what our services are, and you're talking to that client that's struggling with despair. You want to touch them with that emotion because you want them to know you see them, you feel them, you understand them, and open that door to building trust and respect and rapport with them. But you don't want to leave them there. Then you got to show them the mirror side of that. What is the mirror side of despair, feeling dark and desperate? It's feeling happy, connected, like excitement about moving forward. And you need to tell them that you are that person that's going to give them and deliver the tools and strategies they need to move forward. End of article, end of discussion, end of copy. You're going to talk to them directly using their love language, what it feels like. You understand who you are. You're giving them tools and strategies to move forward into the mirror side of the opposite of what you're talking about, right? Or what they feel. It's all about taking your clients on an emotional journey. So be distinctive in your voice. Use your voice. Really dig deep. Your clients have been telling you what it is they're coming to you for. Listen. Attach emotion. What are they feeling when they're in that state? But what will they feel like when they get those tools and strategies from you to move them out of that state? The second tip I want to talk to you is choosing the right platforms, strategically choosing the right platforms. I am what you call omnipresent on all platforms, which I recommend to everybody. I recommend you're omnipresent on all platforms. Having said that, I think it's super key to pick two platforms that you know your clients are like congregating in, right? So for me, it is not Facebook. I love Facebook, but it's more people posting recipes, talking about their kids or their dogs or their trips. And that's not my space. I'm more connected to people in business, wanting to move forward, to build bigger, to get that publicity that they're ready for now. By the way, that's another key thing. Be ready for it, because if you grow it, it will come. And I can tell you, if you're not ready for it, it will also go. So build a platform that you're ready for. But when you're picking platforms strategically, look at where your clients are congregated. Are they moms posting photos of their kids and their daycare and food that they're packing in their lunches? Then Facebook might be your place. Is it Instagram, like where people are moving quickly and talking about real quick posts and short little things? It's usually a younger generation. Or maybe TikTok, where literally it's all video content. Your people don't want a lot of copy. They want you to show them what you can do in a short video and just start bleeding through those. Where are your clients located? Once you find that, just pick two platforms. You can feed into all the platforms, but you're going to focus on those two platforms to really drive your traffic. When I say focus, I mean, I get engaged. I'm not just a receiver in those platforms. I make sure I'm a giver. I make sure that I go and read 10 posts at least a day, that I not only like them, I leave really heartfelt comment, and that I share them, because sharing is huge. Don't you think when someone sees that you're liking, you're connecting, you're sharing, that when you do show up with an ask, like, hey, I would love for you to come to my event. I would love for you to do this. Would you mind doing that? They're going to see that you've already invested in them. So build relationships in those two platforms that you pick. The last is consistency is a key for lasting impact. You can't do it for a month and say it didn't work for me. So one of my platforms that I love to work in is LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. It's my space. I am consistently showing up doing the exact same thing. And the growth was slow at first. I'm no different than anyone else. I started with one follower, just like everybody else, probably your family member, someone you know real close. But I started with one and I nurtured them. I nurtured the space. I consistently showed up with an authentic mission, authentic voice, and authentic focus and direction. When you get these things done, getting yourself published is super important. I don't want to waste a whole lot of time on this one. I like to keep these really short because this is YouTube. But what I want you guys to understand is getting the information and message out in a really heartfelt, powerful way takes time. It doesn't instantly come to you. You need to sit back and focus. What does this look like? What does this feel like? Is this in alignment with my core values and how I can help them? And where are you going with it? What's the release? What does it feel like when I get there? If you can get that focus on those words that you're using and you start integrating them in everything, I promise you, you will be visible. And it's very hard to be visible in a community like this. If you guys, by the way, I'm Jana Short. I'm the editor-in-chief of Best Holistic Life magazine. I'm also a podcast host for Oh My Health, There Is Hope, which is one of the top podcasts out there for holistic health and wellness. If you guys are watching this and you like it, please hit the subscribe button. I just want to get that little bit in there. But what I'm here for is you. I have people coming to me for articles to put in the magazine or covers or to work with them and get them published in multiple, editions of different magazines or books. And I love doing that, but I notice that they're not ready. And I don't want them to spend the money on doing this until they are ready. Being on a stage and being a speaker, if you don't know your love language and you aren't bringing emotion to that talk that you're giving, you won't be asked back. And you're not going to make an impact. You are all capable of making a powerful impact with your story, with your heartbeat, and when you discover what those emotions are. I'm going to leave comments open in this podcast so that if you have questions as you're working, me and my team will be very proactive to help you with any tips we can help you with. But I want to see the beautiful people that are stuck in that haystack with millions and millions of people doing what we do, all struggling to get on the top, are struggling to be seen, or having our voice heard. I want to help you get to the top of that pile, but not because of some fluky thing we did that just caught people real quickly and, we were a flash in the pan. I want you to build a solid foundation for your company, your business, your brand, and your heartbeat. And the way to do that is to do some searching. It takes time. I've worked with so many celebrity clients, regular clients, and finding their heartbeat was the most challenging thing. Once we found that heartbeat, though, it opened the doors to so many people that they could help and serve in a more efficient way and a better way to connect. I'm going to leave you with just a couple of things. One of the things I want to leave you with, if you're anything like me, you're being reached out all the time with people asking you for services, right? Can I promote your YouTube? Can I promote your Instagram? I'll do your copywriting. They've never once engaged with me. They've never once liked anything I've posted or investigated it. Half the time, if it's my podcast, they've never even listened to an episode. Do your homework. Start being that person that's proactive. Before you reach out to a potential client, make sure you know who they are. Build that trust first. If I'm looking into who you are, it says a lot about how you're going to treat me when I come into your world for whatever service you're offering. I am telling you what, this is going to change your game when it comes to podcasting, writing books, doing programming, even as simple as writing copy that reaches out to people, placing ads. Your heartbeat is going to just flow out of you on stages. It's going to flow out of you wherever your brand presence is, and people will remember it. So for this episode, I definitely want you to go in. I want you to write those 3 pain points and attach emotion to them. Really sit with yourself. What is my client feeling when they come to me? And then what is the mirror image of what I'm going to do? And be sure you let them know that whatever it is you're trying to help them with the correct tools and strategy, anything is possible. I'm going to say that again. With the correct tools and strategy, anything is possible for all of us There's a ton of abundance to go around. And if you put those words into their mind as you're building trust and rapport, I'm telling you, they'll be knocking at your door. I hope you guys stay tuned and listen to the next episode. We're going to be putting in publishing tips. We're going to be bringing on incredible guest speakers that are in publishing, that are going to help you get in magazines, in books, on stages, tips that you can do, places to go to get on free stages, free books, free events. So we want to help you get a boost. But the very first thing you have to do is figure out what your voice is. What is that emotion you're conveying? Who are your clients and what is your client's love language? This is not about you. This is all about them. So let's stop putting out selfish content. Let's put out content about them with that heartbeat behind it that connects them emotionally to the space we want to bring them for relief. Thank you guys for listening to the first episode of Publishing Power Play. I'm Jana Short, and I can't wait to see you next week. We'll be releasing weekly. And if you have any suggestions on who you'd like to see us interview, what you'd like to learn about, please let us know. I have a ton of connections after being over a decade in this business, and I would love to connect you to a lot of them. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you during the next podcast.